I like to imagine like a white light coming down from the top of my head and imagine it coming around me and centering me and flowing over me. And then I also like to imagine roots coming out of my feet. So you're connected to yourself, your highest self, and then you're also grounded. Because if you've never met your person and you've maybe never experienced all the potential realities of what your soulmate or what the love that you're trying to call in might be, then how are you supposed to be open to it? How do I even know that I want that? I wouldn't say that I'm a healer because I feel like every single person has the ability to heal themselves.
Right.
What I would say is I facilitate the space for them to listen and ask questions to their own intuition and then begin building the trust and the confidence to get there, if that makes sense.
Hi guys. On today's episode, I have Carly Walker. Carly is an intuitive soul guidance coach and walks us through what that means and why someone may want to work with a coach like her. She also walked us through the steps of manifestation that she uses and what it's like to get an intuitive download. I learned so much from Carly in this episode, and I think you guys are going to love it. Enjoy. Carly Walker, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to finally see you again.
I know. I'm selfishly so excited because I think we met last December, right? And then you came back to Toronto, had your beautiful baby.
Yes, thank you. I was very pregnant when we met.
You were the cutest. I mean, you are just like the cutest, but you were the cutest pregnant person.
Thank you. That was the one thing about pregnancy that I was lucky that I felt like, people were like, you look so cute. That's great. But I was so sick the entire time.
You were?
Yeah. Oh, it was not for me.
The entire time?
The entire time. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I had a really rough start. I was throwing up. I was really not centered, but it helped me practice getting back into it.
Yeah. I was going to say, were there any practices in particular that really helped you throughout pregnancy?
I feel like just being patient with myself, because when you're not feeling well, you can kind of be hard on yourself with wanting to get back to work, wanting to have more energy to do more things. And I feel like pregnancy really taught me to take a step back and be like, okay, this is where I am right now, and it's okay to be here right now, and to just go with the flow, and wherever I'm meant to be in that moment is okay, and to accept that. So just being patient, that's what pregnancy taught me.
Yeah, I think it teaches a lot of people that. And that's what, as someone who I'm looking to start my trying to conceive, I feel like I shouldn't call it a journey because who knows if it will be a journey. Looking to move into that phase of life in a couple of months. And that's what I'm very interested to see, just what pregnancy feels like on me.
It's so different and unique for everyone, right? And it is a journey. Whether you have an easy time conceiving or a difficult time, you're stepping into this new version of yourself and life. And I think that it's a soul contract with this little soul that you're inviting into the world. And by the start of your pregnancy, you are a different person than where you end up.
Absolutely.
So it is a journey always.
It really is. And so you are an intuitive soul guidance coach. Can you explain what that means for those who don't know?
Yes. So for those who don't know what intuitive soul coaching is, it's a practice of coming back and connecting with yourself. So I always say that your intuition is only as good as the questions that you ask yourself. So in my practice, I really help people use critical thinking and asking themselves questions of where I am, where do I want to go? Do I have belief systems that are blocking me from getting there? And we use those questions and the answers that come from asking those questions to come back to yourself. Okay. So it's all about realigning and reevaluating, and it's not about bypassing and trying to think positive all the time, because you hear about that in the spiritual world. It's change the way you're thinking and change what's going on in your life. But with my practice, I really invite people to take radical responsibility over where they are, owning the good, owning the bad. And when you do that, you take your power back so you can shift it.
Were you always this in tune?
I would say that from a young age, I always had this feeling that there was something bigger than us. And I always felt like I was on this quest to interact with it. Like there's this energy or universe that's woven into all of us. And it's crazy to not feel like you can be in touch with it or that there's something more, you know? So through that, I was always trying to figure out, like, what is this thing? Like, where do we come from? Like, there's such a miracle of life all around us. And I always wanted to be curious about it. And I think also my grandmother kind of put that in my head. She was like, talk to your angels, talk to your guides. So like from 5 years old, I just remembered being like, angels, guides, protect my family, protect me. And through that, you kind of just go on this journey of trying to figure out what's going on here. What are we here for? What's our purpose? Like, there can't just be this materialistic world that we're a part of. There has to be something more, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm the same way. I've always been very curious, and I always felt like I went to religious schools and I never fully resonated with, you know, I went to a Christian school when I was younger and a Catholic school in high school. And I was like, yeah, these just like aren't vibing for me. But I definitely believe in a higher power that I now call the universe. And even praying to my grandmother who passed before I was even born. Like, my family always kept her presence and like her energy so alive that I felt very connected to her.
Sure.
And same thing, like we would talk to her, and that always felt more aligned to me than anything.
100%.
And now, especially when I do any kind of reading, like my spirit guides come through strong.
Beautiful.
Did you ever identify with any kind of religion? I know that's like not at all what we're talking about, but I think it can be intertwined for some people.
For sure. I would say that I grew up with my parents practicing a certain religion in their life. I always grew up and we celebrated Judaism, but then we also, because my mom converted, we had Christmas and the holidays, and it was always kind of more about bringing people together rather than the actual religious aspect.
Right.
And personally, I never really felt like I connected with something that was in a box of like, you have to be one way or another, or you're not loved and accepted.
Right.
And for me, I just think that we are all connected to each other, and any sort of belief that separates us from love. And I think that when you come down to it and you stop trying to like put people into boxes and talk about this idea of separation, what resonates the most to me is this idea that we are all from a source that loves us. We are all humans. We are all cut from the same cloth. No matter what upbringing that you have been through, we can all understand that like you deserve to be happy. You deserve to have a roof over your head. You deserve to feel loved. You deserve safety. And that's kind of what my religious beliefs are. It's not something that separates someone else from me.
Yeah, I think the structure of religion can be so nice for, like you said, the traditions of holidays.
For sure.
Even for little kids, like, you know, Bible stories or whatever those things are. But yes, I agree that in the same way, like the rules never really resonated with me. The black and whiteness of it all. It's like we are all human beings.
100%. And there's some beautiful practices that all religions have. Like my mother-in-law, she loves to say grace before we have dinner, and just being thankful. Like, that's so beautiful. Even though I didn't grow up with that tradition in my house, like, I think it's so special to just take a moment and say thanks for the things that you have, or say thanks for what's in front of you. And if more people practice that, you just would feel so much happier and so much more grateful, because we live in this world where you're constantly feeling like you need to have more, do more, be more, rather than appreciating what you have.
I think that's such an important point to make. And yeah, I totally agree. Do you think about these things a lot now that you have your daughter as well?
100%. I feel like motherhood is one of those journeys that cracks you open, and all changes in your life. There can be, you know, like a moment that you go through depression and that cracks you open. Like anything that kind of shatters you and breaks you down and strips you to your core will do that to you. But specifically with motherhood, I just have this greater understanding at how fragile life is. and how every single moment I just want to be more present and more in tune. And I have such gratitude. I look around and I'm like, every single person came through a mother's womb here. It's so wild to think that. And it's the most traumatic, crazy, insane experience that we all normalize. So I think my enchantment with the world has widened because I look at my daughter's eyes and I'm like, I've never seen someone look at me that way before, with such pure love and admiration.
Yeah. Talk about having something to be grateful for.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. How old is she now?
She's 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah. So we're pretty new in the journey.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
And you're thinking of wanting to start yours soon?
Yeah. We think we want to start trying in a couple of months. So yeah, I've just been doing like all of the physical things to make those changes, to make sure, my body's just in the best place to do that. But I think I've been thinking a lot about like from a mental, spiritual, emotional place as well. Like there's some shifts I want to make there as well. Especially like I've been talking a lot about masculine, feminine energy.
Okay.
And for me, it's become very clear to me, like I want to get a little more in tune with my feminine energy as I step into motherhood.
For sure. That's so beautiful. Being able to receive, right? And being open to grow life, right? How do you feel, because you're so into your business at this point in your life, you're such a successful entrepreneur, how do you feel about stepping into a different role and wearing a different hat?
It's complicated. And that's why I feel like I'm finding myself talking about it so often, because I'm always interested to hear the perspectives of other business owners, other creatives, because it's one of those things, like life is funny in the way that everything seems to come all at once, and that's not by accident.
For sure.
And I've always struggled with balance, and I think it's not even an ultimate test. It's like I've been through all of these rounds of testing my balance, and I feel like the universe is like, Nicole, you know what to do.
For sure.
You need to ask for help with things. You need to delegate more. You need to be a little bit, I think I have this shame around, or not shame, I think I have this pride around, I was raised to feel like I had to be the hardest person working in the room, and drawing so much of my own self-worth out of that. Like I might not be the smartest, I might not be the most athletic or the prettiest or whatever, but I will outwork anyone. And it's like, that's great. But to some degree, that has, like, where has that gotten me? Like, yes, some success, but I feel like the most success comes out of actually taking a step back and working smarter, not harder.
Totally. Well, in motherhood, you'll definitely learn that you need a village.
Yeah.
Like I thought I too was like, I was living in British Columbia. I could live anywhere. I could live far away from my family. And since becoming a mom and trying to manage my business and trying to do it all and wear all the hats, it really makes such a difference when you invite people in to support you and you lean on people and you realize that people want you to ask for help. People want to know how to show up for you. And it's beautiful to slowly build your circle of people that are showing up. And when you're tired and you can't handle the load and you need to be there for yourself, well, somebody gets to be there for your child while also being for you. It's like this symbiotic relationships that you can create.
How have you asked for help?
Oh, my family is amazing. I've never, until you become a mom, you can conceptualize like how incredible your parents are. They brought you into this world. They sacrificed all these things, but now I understand them in their humanness. And now I understand them in their like raw form, that it's also their first time here. So to have these moments where I'm not feeling well and I need someone to ask for help, I know that my family, like, they understand what it's like to need people to support them. And it just feels like they're happy to show up and I'm happy to ask for help, but that takes practice,
And do you find, Like, are you someone that's ever struggled with boundaries?
For sure. When you're a recovering people pleaser, like most of us are, it's learning how you kind of have to build structure around your life, right? Like what feels okay and what feels acceptable. And what, like, there's asking for help, and then there's people just giving you unsolicited advice. And you'll find in your journey towards motherhood, there's going to be a balance of both. There's going to be really positive support from the people around you, but there's also going to be people that have a lot of opinions about how you raise your child, how you show up, and what you should do or shouldn't do. And so you really learn a lot about yourself, right? And the areas that you had leaky boundaries and didn't have structure, you learn really fast where you need to adjust.
Yeah, I think that's what I have to navigate a little bit is like, I want to get to a place where I'm asking for more help. I'm delegating to my team at work so that I'm feeling a little bit more balanced and just like I have a little more juice in the tank to serve my family as opposed to running on fumes. Like that's definitely been taking a back burner. My family, my husband, sorry, Mike, like it's, like I've just been working really hard, and sometimes you turn around and you're like, oh my God, we haven't been on a date in a month. And that used to be a weekly ritual for us that really served our relationship.
Totally.
And I can only imagine once you have a child, how much bandwidth that eats up. But as a recovering people pleaser and somebody who's had very, not structured boundaries, I think I get like, ooh, but I don't want to, I feel like I've put all these nice boundaries in place and I don't want to cross those. So it's just like, it's just another thing to kind of navigate around.
Yeah, it's a shift, right? Like, it's this big moment in your life where you have to learn and prepare and grow. And I mean, owning a business is the first start of that. Like that is your baby right now, right?
Yeah.
So you already know that you need to be organized and schedule in a date night. You already know that sometimes, because you and your husband work together, right?
Yes.
You already know that you have to lean on someone when your cup might be half full and his might be full. And maybe he needs to take some of the load during those times. So you've been preparing for this.
Yeah.
I
know it does give me a little bit of relief sometimes when I hear business owners who like husband and wife work together, partners work together, and they're like, running a business together is good training for having a baby.
Totally.
Because there's a lot of logistics planning going into parenting.
100%.
So you at least build that muscle a little bit of communicating on the logistics front.
100%. And communication is so important. Like you already do those check-ins. Like, where are we at?
Right.
What's going on? How much can you handle at this time? Like, so the fact that you're doing it all together, it already shows that you and your husband have strong foundation for bringing a child into the world, because it is a lot and it does change things. And you are trying to figure out, do I shower? Do I feed myself? Do I let the dog out?
Right.
So
I love it. I love it. Okay. I feel like I'm getting into we're doing coaching on me right now.
This is a perfect demonstration.
Yeah. No, but I would love to hear a little bit about your process with clients. What do most people come to you looking to work on?
For sure. A lot of the people that come to me are looking to feel more confident and worthy of having the life that they desire. So they'll have repeating patterns or belief systems that they feel are causing them to feel stress and out of alignment.
Okay.
So most people are trying to grasp at this version of themselves that they feel inside that exists, but they have no idea how to get there. And what I say with the energy alchemy method is that I like to be the bridge that helps them get there.
Okay. I love that. Do you have any client stories, obviously anonymous, that you'd like to share to kind of paint the picture of what working with you might look like? For
sure. So one of my clients came to me. They were kind of going through a big life shift in their life, and they were trying to manifest a relationship. And this was something, they were coming out of a relationship. They were trying to figure out what they wanted in their life. And we had to sit down and do a session and work on what they believed was possible for them. And this is actually, she's the only other person that I did this on other than myself, because usually with relationships, they're a pretty sensitive subject for people. If you're telling someone, I feel like the relationship that you're in is not for you, or that you need to make a shift in that, like that can be very triggering, because sometimes people will come to me, and this was kind of earlier in my career when I was doing mostly intuitive readings.
Okay.
People will come to me at a point and they're like, I want you to tell me that my relationship is going to last and that I'm not going to break up.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of tried to stay away from that, because when I would pick up that they were at a crossroad, there would always be tension. And then later they'd come back and they were like, okay, you're right. I just didn't want to believe it at this moment. So with this specific client, she had kind of already come to terms with the fact that this relationship was done. And we're trying to get her in the frequency to manifest her partner. And again, I've only done this with myself to manifest my husband.
Okay.
So some of the work that we do is we write down the desires and the attributes of the person that they want to invite into their life.
Okay.
They know what they don't want because they've already experienced it.
Right.
And I try to help them get their energy ready to be open to receiving things that they don't know that might be good for them. Because if you've never met your person and you've maybe never experienced all the potential realities of what your soulmate or what the love that you're trying to call in might be, then how are you supposed to be open to it? How do I even know that I want that? And even when I met my husband, I never expected certain qualities that he had that would be in my life and that would be suited for me. So we sat down, we got really clear on what she wanted. We got really clear on what she didn't want. And then we said, universe, we're open to receiving what we might not know would be good for this specific person. And when I was doing it for myself, same thing. And then I like to do a soulmate meditation. So I get them to close their eyes. I walk them down a path. I walk them into a garden, and we basically connect their energy to the person that they're meant to be with. Because in manifestation, a lot of it is that when you are constantly in the state of wanting and desire, you're actually separating yourself from attracting that thing into your life, because you're always in this friction. It's like polarizing magnets.
Okay.
But when we start to say, okay, like when I say I want a relationship or my soulmate, what I actually want is to be loved, seen, understood, and accepted, right? But if I'm always in this state of, well, I don't have love and I don't feel seen and I want it, then you're pushing it away. So in this meditation, we call in that energy and we recognize how the energy of their soulmate, the energy of the person that they want is actually here right now. And how do you recognize it? Well, I have love and support from my family members. That energy is already there. I feel seen when I acknowledge myself and my work, right? You're already giving it to yourself. And the more that you give yourself the things that you think that are out here and you turn inward, the easier it is to have the things that you want come into fruition. And in this specific situation, after we did this meditation that I also, again, did with my husband, she met the person that she just got engaged to like 2 weeks after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so special.
Sure.
So when you were manifesting your husband, were you already actively doing this work?
100%. Yeah.
You were. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm sure before you met your husband, you were out in the dating world. You know how rough it is.
Oh, yes.
It's very hard out there. Savage, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in New York. Doesn't get more savage than that.
For sure. It's intense. It's dog eat dog out there. And personally, I found that I was meeting the same type of person over and over again.
Yes.
Because my belief systems were like, all guys are cheaters and nobody's going to treat me well, or I'm not going to get an attention, like not going to get someone that intends to have a family network and a family that's solid. So my belief systems were all messed up. So of course I'm going to keep attracting the same person over and over again.
Right.
And so when I stopped dating and I was like, hey, you know what? I need to take a step back. I need to reevaluate my life. I need to show up for myself. I need to stop leaking my energy into the world. And I sat with myself and I did this exact meditation that I did for my friend and the same work that we spoke about. I also met my husband like 2 weeks later.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what were you attracting prior to this work that then you think shifted because you put your intentions in the right place?
I think I was just attracting people that didn't value me, but mainly because I wasn't valuing myself, right? I was not seeing myself, my worth, and what I had to offer, and I kept just kind of like, here's my heart, take it. Here's my heart, take it, right? And when you do that, you're going to get the energy that you're believing about yourself, right? So when you take a step back, this is not just in relationships. This is in your business. This is in your friendships. This is in any particular situation that you want to be or you want to call into your life. When you take a step back and you reevaluate, how have I been going about this and what beliefs do I have about myself that maybe say like, am I worthy enough to have this, right? If I don't believe that I'm worthy enough to have it, then I'm never going to call it in.
Right.
So I had to kind of sit with myself and be like, okay, I had one situation in my life that kind of set this ball going of all the beliefs that this is what I was worthy of in relationships. And if you don't pause and put a space between your actions, then you keep creating the same situation over and over again. So I really value working on your belief systems, taking a pause, stepping back, reflecting and saying, okay, like, am I in alignment right now? And when it comes to manifestation, like aligned action is like the biggest component of it. It's embodiment and it's aligned action.
Okay. Can we talk about the different steps of manifestation that you think are important?
100%. So first would be clarity. So I really tell everyone, like, get clear. Like, what do you want? When people talk about manifestation, they're like, a lot of people are like, let me create a vision board. Let me go on Pinterest and put all these photos together of the things that I desire. And that's a great tool, but I wouldn't necessarily say that that's what's going to get you the things that you want in life. It's important to know what you want, but that is not the only step. So then the next I would say is embodiment. What are the qualities, the feelings, the attributes of the person that has those things are? So when I recognize the qualities and the attributes that they have, how can I embody it? How can I step into it? Okay. If I want love, how can I be love? If I want to feel safe, like how can I bring the sensation of safety in my life? How can I embody it right now in this moment? Okay. And the next I would say is surrender. So instead of trying to force when it happens, how it happens, surrender it. Like, you can't control when it's going to come in, but just know that when you do the embodiment work, when you step into that version of yourself that has it, when you shift your belief systems, that it's going to come in. You just have to trust. And then the next would be appreciation. So appreciating yourself right now, appreciating everything that's around you, because stepping into the energy of appreciation puts you into the energy of love, and then it automatically attracts the things that you want. Because we all want to feel loved, seen, and understood. We all want a life where we can feel joy every single day. And that's really what, when people are talking about, I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, they just want to feel good, right?
Yeah, they want to, I think you and I talked about the first time we met was like, people, like, it's easy, and I do it all the time. There's material things that, you might put out there. Oh, I want to live in this size home. I want to drive this kind of car. And that's fine. Like, it's fine. It's like, I don't want to put down,
totally
wanting for material things.
100%.
But it's more about focusing on the way you think you'll feel when you have that thing.
100%.
And attracting that feeling more than anything.
Totally. And when we talk about balance, right? Like, it is okay to want the materialistic things. Like, that's okay. We're humans. We're in a material world. You see it all around you. It's okay to want that, right? But you also have to balance it out with, like, in my life, what I like to do is I balance the spiritual world with the material world. And then I find somewhere in the middle where it feels grounded. Because when you're too much in the material and you're just talking about the house, the car, the bag, you're feeling empty. You're trying to fill your life with those things. And when you're too in the woo, you're ungrounded, you're up in the ethers. Like,
Yes.
my husband likes to say, like, when he met me, because I didn't really have like a grounding practice, he was like, you were just connecting to gamma rays in the universe, and that's out of balance also. So
Yeah.
when it comes to manifestation, it's the feeling, but it's giving that feeling to yourself first, and then by association, you get to enjoy the material world a little bit more without it being empty, and you get to feel connected to something greater than you.
No, I love that. I love calling out the fact that you can be out of balance in both realms as well, because I think we talk a lot about, being out of balance in the material side, and then it's like, okay, we need to connect spiritually, but you're right. You can be out of balance being a little bit too in the woo sometimes as well. And you're like floating up here, and it's like, we need to come back down to earth and get like, and like a lot of times for me, it's like, and we need to get to work,
100%. Yeah.
Like we still do need to make money and,
100%.
get things done, that kind of thing. But it's balancing the two of like being present in modern day society and whatever, while also being connected.
100%. It's all about finding your center of everything. In motherhood, it's about finding your center. In your business, it's about finding your center. In spirituality, finding your center, because you need both sides of the scale in order for them to create a big picture, complete the picture, right?
Yes. What's your go-to grounding practice?
Well, before we started, I gave you some essential oil. That's a really big part of my routine. I love to just like put on my wrist before I'm about to step into something, like taking a deep breath. It just instantly like sets my vibe for the day. Mantras are really powerful. Our mutual friend, Sam Cutler, she showed me this girl, Madison Mindset.
Right.
And before I was about to give birth, I listened to this girl every single day.
Oh.
And she's really powerful. So I'm really big on mantras. Like,
Okay.
I think that they have the ability to really shift you into a different zone.
Love that.
Yeah. Do you have a ritual that you do for yourself?
Well, first of all, thank you again for the essential oils, because it's like, it's on my wrist right now, and it's such a nice ritual. I do actually use essential oils while I work to help me just kind of get in flow sometimes, because when I'm in my office, especially, there's so many people's energy around, and I'm very sensitive to others' energies. Like, I have to really be intentional about not just like mirroring other people's energy or letting them control the energy in the room all the time, especially as a leader. But essential oils are very helpful for even just allowing me to like kind of come into myself and do what I need to do, because I can get very caught in like making sure everyone else is okay. And then it's like 7 p.m. Everyone's gone, and I still have so much work to do. Another grounding ritual I do just in my day-to-day is a 5-minute journal every morning.
Love journaling. Journaling is amazing.
Yeah.
I too suffer from that.
Do you?
That mirroring energy. And something that will help you is every time before you enter your workspace, before you enter a situation where you know that you're going to be pulled to kind of mirror other people's energy, I like to imagine like a white light coming down from the top of my head and imagine it coming around me and centering me and flowing over me. And then I also like to imagine roots coming out of my feet. So you're connected to yourself, your highest self, and then you're also grounded.
Oh, I love that.
So when you're trying to pick up on other people's vibes and you're like, how am I going to show up? And sometimes that can make you feel drained after an interaction. I find when I protect my energy and I do that meditation or do that little energy check before I walk in, I'm always with myself instead of leaving myself to be for other people.
Oh, I love that so much. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I find that a lot, whether it's at my office, if I'm walking into a social setting, it can be a really beautiful quality to have, because you can be so adaptable towards different types of personalities. And I'll always say, like, I'm a Gemini, so like I can be the biggest personality in the room, or I can be the quietest. Like I feel like I'm like versatile in that way.
Totally.
But yeah, you want to be intentional about it, because there are scenarios where you're like, you don't want to be mirroring other people.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if you're not aligned with that person, or if their energy is not necessarily in the best space, and you end up trying to kind of lower your vibe to meet them where they're at, then you end up leaving a situation feeling like, was that how I wanted to operate? Was that the space that I wanted to show up in? Or did I just let somebody else take me so that I didn't have to make them uncomfortable for maybe being in a higher vibe? So as a leader, you want to be in tune with, how do I stick to myself? Even when there's moments where I want to shift to make someone else feel comfortable. And it's not necessarily like we want to make everyone feel comfortable in your presence, but like, let's say somebody's talking bad about someone and you feel like, well, I don't want to make them uncomfortable. So then you end up indulging in a conversation, and then it feels out of alignment with where you wanted to say it or how you want to hold yourself, right? You end up leaving and you're like, damn, that wasn't how I wanted to show up in the world today. And those aren't my intentions for the type of person that I feel like I am, you know?
100%. I think it's just about, sometimes you really want to be the one setting the tone. Totally. You know, especially when you are in a space where you are looking to lead.
100%. Yeah, it does take practice, right? A big part of my belief system is neurolinguistic programming. So the things that you've been, or the language and the beliefs that you have, create pathways in your everyday life. So if you're constantly, every time you go in a room and you're like, okay, like I'm just gonna shift to be around other people, right? I'm gonna shift my energy to be comfortable with them. That's what you're always gonna fall into. It's gonna be a default. But if you take a pause before you respond and you say, okay, I'm gonna just make a little bit of a different choice in this direction that feels more aligned with the person that I want to become. And then you do it again and again and again. You create those new neural pathways to slowly but surely taking a step into the person that you wanted to become.
I love that. Did you do a certain training that incorporated that? Or like, how have you educated yourself on this?
So I got my education through the International Coaching Federation.
Okay.
I finished it just 2 years ago.
Okay.
But over the years, I studied with different intuitives and different mediums, and I got certified through mindfulness-based stress reduction through John Kabat-Zinn. He's like a meditation practitioner. And so I kind of, over the years, like dabbled in different things, trying to figure out where my ideology or my beliefs kind of fit. And so I kind of, with my practice, I borrow from different practitioners, and I kind of say, okay, this is where I feel like I fit. I want to bridge spiritual practices with practical tools that can help people in their everyday lives.
I love that so much. So you mentioned earlier, like you've done intuitive readings on clients. So there's the coaching side. Do you still do readings as well?
I feel like in all my work, I try to help do readings for people, but not as formally as I did before. Like when I started my business, I had just spent like a year and a half making appointments with different intuitives and mediums and kind of asking them how they read people's energy and asking them questions. And I had a mentor for a really long time where we'd practice doing readings on each other and kind of stepping into other people's energy. And to preface this, everyone's intuitive. Every single person can do this.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you feel like you have a special gift on that front, or do you think you've just tapped into something everybody has?
I think I just strengthened the muscle. You know, I just began using the skill and then strengthening it and believing in it. And the reason why you feel like when you're in a group of people, how you feel like you're tapping into them and you're having to show up in a different way to like kind of shift to make them feel comfortable or whatever you do in that regard, it's because you're intuitive. You're picking up on their vibe, right? Every single person is intuitive. They just need to learn to master it. So when I started my business, I was mainly doing intuitive readings. So I would sit down, I would do my little energy ritual before I would meet with someone, and then I would automatic write the things that I felt like were coming up for them.
Okay.
And then we'd have a session.
Okay.
And if you ask me how the heck I did that, I would be like, I don't know. I feel like I'm making this up. But every time I would have a session, they would be like, how did you pick up on this? Like, how did you know that this was happening? Or how did you know that this person in my life passed away from a car accident or things like that?
Wow.
And mainly with that work, I would tell them what their highest self wanted them to know and what they could step into. But what I felt when I was doing just solely the intuitive readings was that it's one thing to tell someone, okay, like this is what you're meant for. This is what I feel for you. And it's another thing to give them the practical tools to help them get there. Because yeah, it's cool. Like somebody tells you you're meant to be on stage and talking and guiding people, right? And you're feeling really shitty about yourself and you're trying to figure out what your next move is, you're going to say, yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. But how do I get from point A to point B? So at that point, I had gone back to school and kind of studied somatic practices. And I did a couple online courses for neuro-linguistic programming. And I was like, okay, how can I piece these two things together?
Okay. Got it. So when you're working with people, you're kind of getting an intuitive download of sorts in the beginning and then helping them put together kind of their action plan on how
exactly
how they're going to get from where they are today to what you're seeing is kind of meant for them.
100%. Yeah.
Have you ever had scenarios where you see something for someone that they're shocked by?
Not really. I think everyone knows.
Yeah.
I think everyone has this feeling of I'm meant for more. I'm meant for something. I'm meant for this. They have a awareness of the life that they want. And that awareness is their own guidance. But a lot of us haven't been taught to listen to that guidance, right? So I like to, in this space, there's a lot of people that say like, I'm a healer. I wouldn't say that I'm a healer because I feel like every single person has the ability to heal themselves.
Right.
What I would say is I facilitate the space for them to listen and ask questions to their own intuition and then begin building the trust and the confidence to get there, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I guess I'll just like selfishly use an example, like when you walk in the room and whether it was when you met me for the first time or like when you walk in the room today, do you feel like you get a lot of that like download or do you have to kind of sit and do like a whole ritual and practice around it?
Well, I don't necessarily feel like I'm always out there in the ethers trying to read people because it's personal, right? Like I don't want to invade anyone's privacy. So normally like when I do a reading, I always want permission from someone because again, like I wouldn't want someone all up in my grill just being like, I'm sensing you had a stressful day and you're carrying everyone's energy, like that's invasive. So I usually like to ask permission. And the way that I generally pick up information is through sitting there, putting myself in their energy field. And then I just like to write out everything that comes through for me.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever had a reading from someone before?
Yeah, I actually did one on the podcast recently. So I had done a reading with her on my birthday, just personally.
Okay.
And it was so profound that I wanted to share it. So we actually did one on the podcast. The episode I'm having technical difficulties with, so I might have to re-record. I'll get it out there at some point somehow. But yeah, I love this stuff. And the reason I wanted to have, she identifies more as I guess like a clairvoyant intuitive.
Okay.
Like she says like she does intuitive guidance and coaching as well. But like she's also doing a full clairvoyant reading with tarot cards, like the whole nine.
Yeah.
And telling me things like, I see you're going to have 3 kids in this time frame. I see that you and your husband are soulmates. This is your 4th lifetime together. Like, you're not really picking up on that kind of stuff, are you?
It's different. Like picking up on like, you just got in a fight with your partner and this is on your energy field right now. And I'm picking up on you have the desire to make a difference in the world and you currently have belief systems that are blocking you from doing that. Like that's the kind of stuff that I'm picking up on because energy can change, right?
Yeah.
Like we're constantly, every single decision that we're making can shift our energy into a different experience. But from a higher self perspective, I can be like, well, your higher self wants you to feel confident, feel abundant, feel like they can help people. Your higher self wants you to use your health, the things that you've been through for your health, to make a difference in the world and help guide people to it's like help guide people to learn how to not let their health take over their life. Like that's what I pick up for you. It's like you've struggled with mast cell, right? And that's been a situation that kind of propelled you into wanting to help people find that balance, right?
Yeah, well, it was like I was struggling with PCOS for a long time, and then I feel like it's just kind of like the latest evolution of some chronic inflammation that's been the mast cell. And yeah, what's funny about, I've wanted to do a podcast for a very long time. I'm finally in the place with my career and just like my being, my own inner confidence, that now's the time to really like share in this type of way. And it's funny, like today, for example, or this weekend, for example, like I've been batching a good number of episodes with, when I tell you, the gamut of different types of people, all in the wellness industry in some regard, in every single conversation, cortisol levels and stress has come up in every single conversation. And to me, it's such a message for me personally that, as I was saying, even as I step into motherhood, I know I need to, like, that's the piece that needs to shift for me. But I also think that it's like, if that's happening for me, it's probably happening for so many other people out there as well.
100%. There's a reason why it keeps coming up. It's not just out of the ordinary. There's a reason why there's that theme that's showing up for you in these conversations, because a lot of people are going through that at the same time.
Right.
And what I find when we talk about, like, when I talk about alchemy and being an energy alchemist, we have a bunch of people that are mutual friends that I also believe that they are. It's people that have been through difficult moments and hard times in their life that want to become better. And they take those difficult moments and they turn it into what has actually made them the most powerful person. And they use those lessons to help other people along the way. That's what a leader is. That's what a guide is, right? So with you, if you're feeling like chronic stress and inflammation and things are coming up for you, it's like eventually you're going to be a couple steps ahead of the people that are going to be guiding, right?
Oh, I always joke that I was an early adopter of PCOS. I got diagnosed before anyone had ever heard of it. They were like, "What weird disease do you have?" And now I feel like more of my friends than not have a diagnosis of PCOS.
100%.
And it's helpful to be able to guide, many times on a very physical level of like, okay, this supplement can help that, this practice can help this. But yeah, at the end of the day, no matter what you're dealing with, mental, physical, emotional, it's mostly about tuning into yourself and really asking yourself, what do I need to heal?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
You mentioned before we started recording, we were talking about our mutual friend, Sam.
Yes.
Hi, Sam. Love you.
Hi, Sam. We love you so much.
We love you so much.
We love that you're the plug.
Yes, literally.
Plug.
She is. She's the plug.
Yes.
We were talking about the fact that she is such a connector.
Yes.
And it's such a beautiful quality. And you called her an expander.
Yeah.
And I like lit up because I was like, I always call her an expander for me.
She is.
What does that mean? What does being an expander mean to you?
An expander is someone who constantly wants to elevate the people that are around them. They want to connect people that are like-minded and also have them share this. It's almost like a collective consciousness where everyone gets to experience their dreams. Everyone gets to live an abundant life. Everyone gets to be on the same train together. And so Sam, she's such a person that sees the good in everyone around her and says, hey, you guys would vibe. Like, let me put you guys in a room together so you can see what magic you can create.
Yes.
And then from that moment, I mean, this is why we're here, right?
Literally. Literally, this is why we're here. She invited us over for like a little girly Christmas party and we had so much fun. And, I feel like you connected with our whole Florida friend group there, but I especially like knowing I had the podcast in the future. I was like, oh, I would love to have Carly on one day because there's just so much we can dig into here.
100%. I know. I was so excited to meet you, and like Sam spoke so highly of you before I had met you. So like having that connection in person really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And again, speaking of someone being an alchemist, it's like Sam went through her own health difficulties.
Yeah.
And even with everything around her wedding, right? There was a big controversy around around her wedding, which was amazing, by the way. We had the best time. I personally love when somebody gives me bloat pills because all of us are bloated, you know?
I'm always like, I wish.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I've been waiting for this moment. Again, she expanded my life there.
Yes.
But instead of curling up in a ball, she took the heavy, dense things in her life and she created something big with it, right? She shifted it into something that was powerful, that now she's helping millions of women recognize their power and their health issues and teaching them how to change it. So, and for you as well, like with PCOS and all the journeys with your health, you're like, I'm not going to let this define me. I'm not going to let this change the way I show up in the world. I'm going to take my power back and I'm going to shift it into how I can actually be a guide and a leader for other people.
And owning sometimes when you do have to, when you are going through a chapter of, I've talked to a lot of nutritionists and, holistic health practitioners. And it's something that's, on the tangible level, really relevant with Sam is like, she's pretty unashamed of asking someone for what she needs, which I love. And it's a very expanding quality for me because I have really struggled with that over the years, like, once again, just a very tangible example. I'm gluten-free. I have to be. I really feel terrible if I eat gluten. And she is someone, when we're at a restaurant, she's like, I have a gluten and a dairy allergy and I would like to know what's in this mocktail because, I'm trying to not do too much sugar. And I would have I've been in that phase, right? Where I'm like, I'm doing all these things, but I'm almost embarrassed to inconvenience somebody.
100%.
And to me, being an expander, I asked if you were familiar with the program To Be Magnetic because I had I've gone through the program a couple times. And it's a manifestation program, right? And all it's doing is applying a structure for your manifestation process. And it's very similar to what you described, you coach clients through. But one of the pieces of their process is finding expanders. And that is somebody who has something in common with you. So say it's something similar to, like, you have a similar upbringing. So you can identify with them for some reason. And they have something you're looking to call in. So, Sam and I are around the same age. We have similar corporate job backgrounds, right? And she has built a platform. Similar business babies. And that's what she has built, a huge platform and is able to help millions of women. And while the platform I'd like to build is different, I would also like to help millions of women one day, right? Such an expander. And then thinking of the way that you describe, so I've never done this practice before. I've never read, it's a course, right? You can download their app and get an annual subscription, say, and there's some, I think it's every new year because so many people are using that time of the year to call in new things. They'll do a structured program where you're in a group doing it, or you can just dive in and do it self-led and you watch, there's videos to watch and learn and understand, and then you'll do some practices where you're writing down, whether it's your list of expanders in your life or certain things, and then meditations that they call deep imaginings.
Okay, beautiful. So when you were talking about that, some of the work that I do is positive projection work. Okay. So you find people that you admire in your life. Okay. And you write down all the qualities and attributes that you admire about those people. And then you say, how do I actually embody those qualities within myself? Because sometimes when we're projecting, we're saying that person is amazing and wonderful and worthy and has all these things. And they have the career that I desire, right? You tell yourself, well, I actually don't have those qualities. Mm-hmm. So when you do positive projection work and you take the time to say, okay, what are these qualities that that person has that I admire? And then you make a list of all the ways that you actually embody them within yourself. Mm-hmm. And then you say, how can I show up and embody them more often? How can I start to recognize and create those neural pathways that, I actually am very similar to that person. Mm-hmm. And I actually do have those things. And then you take, even though it's so lovely to admire people, you take the people that you think are above you off a pedestal, mm-hmm. and you step into saying, I also can do that. I also have that.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. And it's, I love that, first of all. And I think it's all of this, all this work in the woo world, right? It's there are so many similar processes that we'll just put different labels on different things.
100%.
And just one more note on the expander piece is you and I can be expanders for each other.
100%.
Because we might each embody qualities that each of us also has within, but I might be, living out, maybe you want to have a podcast one day. And I'm doing that now. And maybe I want to do some intuitive guiding coaching and you've already done that. So it's
totally.
You can give and take in that way.
You're learning from what's around you.
Right.
And you're utilizing that. Have you ever read the book, It's the Celestian Prophecies?
No.
So it's an old book and it's a fiction book, but it basically is about this prophecy that, and there's a list of prophecies. I'm not going to get them right because I haven't read it in a while. But one of them is that the people that you meet have a message for you. Okay. So when you are grounded and connected to listening to the universe, you'll meet people that will have something to share with you that will help you along your journey. And when you're talking about the expanders of how you have these qualities that you connect with, I instantly thought of the Celestian prophecies, because when you are aware and listening to the universe and you're connected to it, every single person that you meet can be a door to the next chapter and to the next level that the universe is waiting for you to accept and be at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me, my dad has always told me, because I feel like I've always been somebody who gets a little bit fixated on I remember when I was accepting my first full-time job, I was what if it's not the right thing? What if it, what if it was the end of the world, right?
For sure.
Even when we were starting our business, it was what if we should be doing something different? What if we should be choosing a different location? And he has always said, Nicole, it's not about where you start. Just choose, essentially, just choose something and it'll lead you to the next thing and you'll land where you're supposed to.
100%. Making a decision is more powerful than focusing on, is this the right or the wrong thing, right?
Yes.
So just choosing a direction,
yes.
And trusting that it's going to lead you where you're meant to go.
Yes.
That's powerful, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's freeing because it can be so, it feels trapping to feel okay, I'm choosing this thing and it's the thing for the rest of my life. And it's it might not be, but you just have to trust that it's going to be okay either way.
Totally. It's not that serious. I think when we make it so serious and we put so much emphasis on it, and I've had so many times in my life where I felt the same, deciding where to live, I was so worried about making the wrong decision. And then one day my father-in-law actually said this to me. He's you can change your mind, right? It's not that serious, right?
Yeah.
And just by making that one decision, so many positive things have catapulted me into a much more abundant and positive lifestyle.
I love that.
Right?
I love that so much. Is your husband into all this stuff as well?
Slowly over the years, I've helped him.
Love that.
Helped him connect with it a little bit because he's a VP of sales. He manages a team. He's very spreadsheets, practical in his thinking. But I think the beautiful thing about our relationship in terms of balance is that when he feels out of his body and stressed, we have a practice where I'll do Reiki on him. I'll align his chakras. He'll meditate. And he's I need this. This is our purpose for each other. This is what we offer each other. So he believes in it. Does he operate from that space on a daily basis? No, but he's not totally closed off to the idea. What about your husband?
I would say he is, like, I think if you were to ask him, he would say he's closed off to the idea of everything that we're talking about. But he naturally does so much of this. So he is somebody, it's funny that your husband's VP of sales. That's my husband's technical title in our business, right? It's like we're both co-founders. I'm VP of marketing. He's VP of sales as well. He has always been great at sales. And he is somebody who is very resistant to even doing like formal trainings, because he's like, it's when it comes naturally that it's the most effective in his mind. And he is somebody who, I've never met anyone that can read a room like he can. Truly.
Maybe.
Like, yeah. And it's just truly like one of the qualities of his I'm most grateful for and have always like really drawn me to him is the fact that I've never once had to worry about him saying the wrong thing to the wrong person, because he can just read people. Like, you don't have to tell him like, oh, by the way, you're not supposed to know that so-and-so is pregnant, so don't say something. He'll just like,
totally.
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But that's his, like, again, like we said, so many people have different ways of putting a title on something and calling it different, right? We're all doing the same thing.
Exactly.
We're just understanding it in a different language, right?
Yes.
So for him, maybe he's like, well, I'm in sales, so I have to be naturally good at reading people. I have to be naturally in touch with people. Otherwise, how am I going to not convince, but portray value to someone that I'm selling to, right?
Right.
But that's intuition. That's like picking up on other people's energy. That's reading them.
Exactly.
That's saying, okay, like this person is going through a specific situation. Like I have to connect with them on an emotional level on why they need that, right? We're connecting with people on an emotional level and like why, like what, I'm trying to find the words for it, but
I just always say I'm like I'm being very vocal about my process, and he's just flowing naturally. Like even with like finding expanders in our lives, like I'm very like, oh, I mean, a new friend, she's an expander in this way. I, really want to achieve this thing that she has already got, and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh yeah, I met this guy at the golf course yesterday. He's cool. I think I'm gonna have a beer with him.
For sure.
And it's like, he's actually like, and I'm like, oh, what's cool about him? Like, what do you like about him? And it's like, when you really dig in, he's like, well, he's got a business that's achieved this, so I want to pick his brain about that, or just, it'd be cool to just be around him for that reason. And it's like, it's just funny things like that. Like, it's just natural. Like we all naturally do this stuff.
Sure.
It's cool when you can tap in and like almost accelerate the process. Like you said, with manifesting your husband, like you would have found your husband one way or another.
Sure.
I believe, at least.
It just would have taken me a little bit longer if I kept going down the path of dating.
Exactly. And when
people.
Yeah. And when you tap in, it's cool to play with it to see how, like when you're really intentional, like you said, whether say it's, you want to drive this certain BMW, it's like, sure. If you're an entrepreneur and you're hardworking, you'll probably get there by some point. But if you're really intentional with it, maybe you can get there by 33 instead of 43,
Sure. I mean, it's the same thing as like, why do you hire a personal trainer, right? It's like, sure, I can go to the gym and I can work out. And eventually, if I keep doing that, I might get a nice body or feel stronger, right? But if I have someone that actually knows what's going on, what muscles I need to work, what food I need to eat in order to get there faster and more efficiently, because I can understand it more, then of course it helps to have that person in her life. And it's the same with intuition. Like if we can figure out the tools and actually understand what's happening, then it makes it a lot easier to get there than just, okay, maybe if I create a Pinterest board or journal down the things that I want, like having a bit of a process is helpful, right?
Totally. And I think even it's such a good example of like hiring a trainer, because even, somebody, I could see people saying like, oh, well, why do I need an intuitive coach if I'm intuitive?
For sure.
It's in the same way of even people I feel like get scared of readings of like, they're like, I don't want to know, blah, blah, blah. And like you said, it's just the energy that you're putting forth anyway. Like I had an intuitive once do a Reiki treatment on me, and she was like, and I was really tormented with, we were choosing the location. It sounds so silly, but we were really going back and forth about the location for our wedding at the time. We were newly engaged, and I really wanted to get married in upstate New York at the time. She literally saw the venue that I had on my heart. And she was like, and I thought that meant, oh my God, we're getting married there. She saw the future. She didn't see the future. She just read your energy. She read my energy.
Right? What was in like your highest desire, right?
Yeah.
So I actually have a tool that's really good for because you sound like me when you're having a hard time figuring out a decision fatigue. So this is a practice for your intuition, okay? So you want to write down all of the options that you're considering on different pieces of paper, okay? You want to fold them up. And then you want to take these pieces of paper, pick them up randomly. You don't know what's on the paper. And then you feel the paper, okay?
Okay.
And then on a journal or in a notebook, you write down, is this in my highest alignment? How happy will I be if I make this decision? Like on what level, what scale? What's the greatest outcome that can come from this? And then you write it down. You just trust your intuition. You have no idea which piece of paper that you're picking up, and you do it for each of them.
Okay.
And that's also how I decided what my wedding venue is going to be, because we were deciding between having like post-COVID, having a wedding in Europe versus having it in Canada. And I was so confused. So I did this exercise and I sat down, and every single thing that I felt into, because when you take yourself out of the mind, right? The mind is trying to control things, and you feel into the energy and you tap into your body, you can pick up on things that maybe your mind wouldn't let you pick up on before because you were blocking yourself, right? Your ego has a certain idea about what it should be, right? And that's why that push and that pull and that tug feels hard, because you're like, well, for me, I wanted to get married in Europe because it sounded cool, right? But maybe what was actually going to be the best outcome was something a little bit different. So when you take your mind out of this push and pull of like, is it this or is it this? And you actually just feel into the energy of it, and you write down what it feels like, you'd be very surprised at how much easier making a decision becomes.
Oh, I love that.
So next time you have a big decision to make, practice that.
Okay. So you're writing each of the options down on pieces of paper?
Yes, like little, like, when you pull a little piece of paper out of a hat, right?
Yeah.
So you rip it, you write, like, let's say, should I go to New York? Should I go to Los Angeles? Right? Okay, I'm going to write it down, fold it up, like crumple it in a ball, make sure that you can't tell which is which. Pick it up, feel it, hold it in your hand, and then in your journal or your notebook,
you're just writing how this piece of paper
feels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to call you next time.
Really powerful. Yes, please let me know. But it's how I decided on where I was going to get married, because we put a deposit down, like 10 grand on this wedding venue. The decision was made.
Yeah.
But something just didn't feel 100%. And what I thought that I wanted versus what might have been in my highest alignment was different.
So which one did you choose in the end?
I chose the one in Canada.
You did.
And my wedding was the best day of my life, other than bringing my daughter into the world.
Right.
Even though it was the most rough day of my life.
I was going to say different type of best day of your life.
Type of best day, yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because it was very similar. I had this idea. I originally wanted to be in Europe. And then I was like, okay, I understand. We're doing this big wedding. It was a whole thing.
Do we just find another reason why we're expanders for each other?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just the most aligned thing was doing it closer to home. And it was the most beautiful experience it possibly could have been. Yeah. I love that so much. How has becoming a mom changed your practice with your clients?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Right? So I'm only 5 months into my motherhood journey, and I'm trying to figure out how to balance it, right? So I have clients that I've had for a long time that like we keep up. And luckily, again, when you lean on people, sometimes my mom, my dad, my husband will watch our daughter while I have sessions. But I'm in this weird phase of life where I want to expand, but then I also need to be present. So I'm using the experience of motherhood to help guide me to understand how I can show up to my next level when the time is right for taking on more clients and bringing my business to the next level. Right?
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, you are still so new at it. And especially in Canada, I feel like the social norm is to take a year, which is so lovely and just like sounds like such a wonderful nesting period.
Sure. Yeah. It's again, balance is a big theme here today, obviously.
Yeah.
It's about finding the balance of having the drive that you've always had to do big things in the world and help people, but then also recognizing that this is also a part of my purpose and also a part of my experience that I have to step into. And sometimes, like, when I was trying to find my footing, and I still am, I would be impatient with myself. Like, I have to have it all figured out. I have to, have all the answers now. And it's like, no, wherever you are is exactly where you're meant to be. Like, I'm exactly in this slower period of time where I can plant my roots and rebuild my house and foundation for what the next level of my coaching practice is going to be. And I'm learning that all through motherhood and slowing down and learning to be present. Like, presence is a big teacher,
Absolutely. I love that. Before we wrap, I want to do a quick rapid fire with you.
Okay, let's do it.
What is a morning ritual you never skip?
Mantras. Set the tone of my day. Need to do a mantra. I am worthy. I'm abundant.
I was just about to ask, what's your favorite mantra? I'm worthy.
I fully love and accept myself.
I love that one. One thing you manifested that still makes you smile?
My husband.
I love that.
Yeah, like, he's the best thing ever.
I love that. I always say I accidentally manifested my husband. Like, I wish, there's a part of me that wishes I had like a very intentional story like that. But I'm like,
hey, you knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
You had the energy to attract it. Maybe not everyone needs to shift their energy. Maybe you didn't have belief systems that were blocking you from finding your person, right?
Yeah, well, it was funny. It was a very different experience than I had had with anyone else. And the funny thing, when I really think about like the energy and everything, like, we were introduced to ourselves through our families rather than like almost everyone else I had ever dated was introduced through friends, or I just met them on their own, right? And I love my energy when I'm with my family. Like, I love the version of myself that I am with them. And I think that energy was a big piece of it.
Totally. Because ultimately you want to end up with someone where you love the version of yourself when you're with them, right? You are 100% yourself and don't feel like you have to shift around that person, right?
Exactly. Do you have a go-to grounding practice with your baby?
We go on a lot of walks.
I love that.
And I feel like, well, when you have a kid, whether you're a morning person or not, you'll still be up at the crack of dawn. So we go on walks. And I just find that on those walks, like when the sun is shining, I just continuously practice being grateful for this life.
I love that.
That's our little practice right now. But I'm sure as she gets older, we'll do all the mantras and all the, you are worthy, you are loved, you are powerful together.
Oh, I love that so much. What is the most woo thing you've tried that has actually worked?
Where do I begin? I feel like learning to talk to my guides more frequently and like get those messages, and automatic writing has been a really big, powerful tool for me. And people would be like, who are you talking to? Like, that's crazy.
Okay.
But it's
automatic
been
writing?
Really automatic writing. It's been something that's like really helped me understand myself. I just say like, what do my guides and my ancestors want me to know right now? Oh. And I say it, whether it's in a journal or just like in a note on my computer, and I'll type out what I feel like I need to know for my highest good. That's been something that's been like a really powerful tool for me.
I love that. What is something people would be surprised to learn about you?
I I feel like I'm a very goofy person. Like I'm very like, I just want to laugh and shoot the shit. So when you step into a career where you're like, I have to wear the hat of helping people, I think I kind of struggled with having to like figure out and navigate that because I just like want to be real and raw and authentic and joke, right? Right. It doesn't have to be that serious. So I think people would be surprised when I'm kind of bouncing back through both. That's really who I am at my core. And one of my goals and my intentions for my business is actually to bring more of that in.
I love that.
Bring more of guiding people to find their joy, right?
Yeah.
Happiness and fun. And it's not that serious. We're not here for that long of a time. We should just focus on being around people that make us feel loved, accepted, and understood, laughing more in our everyday life, feeling good about ourselves and feeling confident to go after the things that we want. Like, that's fun and that's raw and that's authentic and it's not that serious, right? So my goal is to pull those versions of myself in.
I love that. And I think it's one of those things, I mean, you don't need me to tell you this, but the more authentically you show up, the more powerful your work will continue to get and be.
100%. Totally.
Who is a dream guest you'd love to have a soul conversation with?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say if I could sit down and invite all my guys and the energies that I know are supporting me on my journey into the room and I could have a conversation face to face, like that would be really cool and really powerful.
Yeah.
I just think I connect with them on a regular basis, but to actually feel it in the room and to see what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really powerful and cool. Yeah.
Love that.
No one living.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's tough. I feel like I hear a lot of people who are really in tune say that. Like there can be this feeling of sometimes, like you said earlier, like it almost feels like you're making it up because it's just flowing out of you.
Totally.
But to be able to like hear someone else, like another human or another being's voice say it would be cool, right?
Yes, for sure. Because it's something that I let guide me and I trust, but you're blindly putting faith into it, right? Mm-hmm. I believe in it with my being, but to actually pull it into the room and be like, okay, 100%, this is it, you know?
Totally.
It'd be a really cool and profound experience.
Yeah. Love that. What is a current manifestation you're calling in?
It's interesting because I'm kind of at this moment of life where I feel like I'm living everything that I ever wanted, a big aspect of it.
Yeah.
And now I'm in motherhood.
Yeah.
But there's so many things in my career that I want to pull through. Like I want to bring more people together and I want to have a bigger scale and a bigger platform to do that and to help others and to help guide them with whatever they're going through. So I think that's my next manifestation. But currently, like I feel really grounded and settled. It's that one thing that the time will come when I'll have more space for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
What about you?
I mean, I guess both things. Like I'm looking like to really grow my podcast. Mm-hmm. Obviously I'm putting a lot of energy towards that right now. And I'm looking to expand my family in a few months, you know, and there's lots of, you know, it's a physical process, but it's an energetic process as well.
100%. Mm-hmm. Just have fun with it.
Yes.
Try to have fun.
That's another thing that everyone keeps telling me. So I'm trying to really take that in, and everyone keeps saying like, just don't stress about it. I think the fact that I talk about it stresses people, like it worries people because it can sound like I am being very like in my masculine of like, well, I'm going to start trying on this date. And then, you know, well, like it just sounds like I'm being a little black and white about that. Whereas I think my intention in sharing is because I don't think we talk about it enough. I think we either hear when someone's pregnant and we've never heard them say that they are trying or want a baby, or we hear people who have been trying for a long time and are really struggling with their fertility. And, you know, who knows how long it'll take me to get pregnant, but
Sure.
that's my intention with sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the pre-prep is like, these are things I'm doing as a woman with PCOS. The first thing my doctor told me when I was 16 years old was, you might struggle getting pregnant one day. Mm. And I left the office crying for that reason, because I always knew I wanted to be a mom. Mm. And the fact that now I'm at the phase of life where I do want to become a mom, and I don't have this limiting belief that it's going to be hard for me. Mm. Like, we'll see where it takes me. And it's scary to share it.
For sure.
But I also, I very much have intentions of just being light with not putting too much pressure around it. It's a good excuse to go on vacation and just focus on my relationship as well.
Well, it's almost like when you're telling someone that's trying to get pregnant, like when someone's mad, you're like, calm down. And someone's telling you to calm down, well, it's actually going to make you feel more mad and upset. So telling someone to just relax is not necessarily supportive on that journey fully. And as someone that had a miscarriage, and I went through that as well.
Wow.
I think my advice to you would just be work with calling in the soul that is meant for you, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, when they start their journey, they think it's like, this is my timeline. This is when I want to have a family. This is when I feel like X, Y, and Z aligns with that schedule. But also there's something on the other side that maybe they're not ready to come in yet, or maybe they have an idea of what their journey is going to be. So like bringing in that component, it kind of takes the pressure off of it, because you're like, maybe this is bigger than me. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm a vessel for this life and this soul to come into the world. And maybe it's not all in my control, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So when I say have fun, it's like, well, just enjoy the process, because it will be a process, whether it happens easy for you, whether it's difficult, right?
100%. 100%. No, thank you for the advice. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Carly Roberts Walker. And through that, you can connect with my website, carlywalker.ca. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. This was such a fun conversation.
Of course. I loved it.
This podcast was brought to you by Pureform, a comprehensive wellness center in Boca Raton, Florida. The website is pureformhealth.com, or you can find us on Instagram at pureformhealth. Feel free to message us with any questions, and note that you can connect with our providers for consultations over Zoom, from everything from stem cell therapy to hormone replacement therapy and peptide therapy. That's it for this episode of the Healthspan Collective. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd love for you to rate, review, subscribe, and send it to a friend. We'd also love to connect with you on Instagram. Follow the podcast at Healthspan Collective and me at Nicole J. Doran. And leave us a comment on our latest post, letting us know what you'd like us to cover next.